In the weed smoking world, heroin will find you. American deaths from fentanyl overdoses peaked at 100,000 in 2024. I do this survey at most of my seminars. I say, who has had a kid die from drugs and alcohol? And you'll see 95% of the room raise their hand. Oof. And that woke me up.
I actually have only been offered, I think,
this is what I do,
2
guys.
or 3 times.
Yeah.
Get people to realize things on their own. The potency of weed now is in the 40 to 50% THC.
Like
when I was smoking weed, it was 3 to 6. Sorry, Officer Munchback, I was selling weed back then. Yes. Stop treating 12 and 13-year-olds like they're idiots.
All right, guys, today I have Darren Tessitore, a Boston-born Italian-American who is the leader of Drug Educators Alliance, which has educated more than 25,000 educators on how to be the beacon of freedom to teach people the truth about drugs. He's been doing it for more than 20 years, educating tens of millions of people about the dangers and craziness that drugs can bring to your life. Guys, welcome, Darren Tessitore.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I'll give you a minute.
The applause is going in the background.
I didn't hear it. We're
Dude, amazing intro, by the way.
We're used to a crowd here.
So like tens of millions of people have been reached with this message. Like how do you how does that occur? Or like, how do you even know that that happened? Basically is my first question, right?
It's a really good question. It's a lot of talking
Yeah.
is really what it is. And constantly and never stopping to communicate. It's really what it comes down to. You know, I had, when I first realized that I needed to do something about drugs on this planet, I decided I was going to go talk to kids. So I went to a school and I talked to the superintendent. These are the guys that run the school district. I said, hey, I want to talk to the kids about drugs. And he's like, that's great. Let me go get it approved by the board. So then I go to the Board of Education. It's like 6 months later.
Wow.
And I go to the Board of Education and then we talk to the board and like, well, you know, the Department of Education hasn't really approved this. So we have to get them to approve it.
Just to give us one talk in
Just
one
to talk to the kids, right?
Wow.
Well, I wanted to educate the kids. I wanted to do a program, a drug education program. So then I go to the State Board of Education and I was like, hey guys, I want to do this to this school and maybe the whole state. And they were like, well, you know, this is like another 6 months later.
Yeah.
Like, well, if you get it approved by the Federal Department of Education, maybe we can talk to you.
Wow.
I'm like, what is happening here? Like, we have kids dying.
Yeah.
And I'm a year later and you still haven't let me say a word to these kids. Like, they're gone out of high school now and probably some of them are dead.
Yeah.
Right? So then I finally, a year later, meet with the guy in charge of curriculum for the Department of Education for the United States.
Wow.
And I'm meeting with this guy and I'm telling him about this program I got. And he's like, this is awesome. I love it. He goes, but unfortunately, we didn't fund its creation, so we can't approve it.
What?
And I was like, okay, so
Wow.
this is a, can I swear?
Yes.
This is a backward system,
We'll believe it.
right? Like, what is happening here? Like, how is this going to work? How are we going to help these kids? So then, you know, I got into a couple schools, talked to a couple kids, and then I quickly realized, like, well, if I want to reach every kid, I would have to do this about 90 hours a day for about 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not going to work, right? So then I started backing up, like, well, what if I teach the teacher? What if I find the people that talk to the kids about drugs and I make sure they know what to do and they know how to talk to kids?
Yeah.
So I started doing that and I started looking at who are these teachers and I found health teachers. And at the time, the health teachers were very regulated in their curriculum. They couldn't change it. They had to follow the standard. And then I found this group called driver educators. And I was like, I remember driver ed. In my driver ed class, they taught us about drugs and alcohol.
Oh, wow.
And then I realized that all the different states had anywhere from 2 to 9 hours of drug and alcohol education in their driver ed class. And if you looked at the standard curriculum that they were offered or told to do, it said, talk about drugs and alcohol for this much time.
Wow.
Interesting.
So it's this
Wide
open book. Some of them were using different curriculums like AAA and other curriculums out there. But I said, this is it. So I called up this group called the Driving School Association of the Americas. It still is a national driver ed conference. I'm actually going there next week to their conference in California.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, I'm Darren Tessitore, and I volunteer for this group called Drug Free World, and we have a free drug education program. And they're like, wow, this sounds really cool. Do you want to come speak at our conference? We just had a speaker drop out. And I was like,
what?
I'm like, yeah, when is it? They're like, next week in Austin, Texas. I'm like, okay. So there I am. I'm on my first flight to my first conference. And now I'm on the stage of 400 driver ed leaders from around the country talking about Drug Free World.
Wow.
So that opened the door to every state and regional conference in the country because now I'm accredited by them to speak,
Wow.
right? Theoretically, I mean, there's no technical accreditation, but if like, hey, I spoke at this conference, but before I even say, do you need speakers? They're like, can you come to mine?
Yeah.
Can you come to mine? And literally when I'm on stage, I had like 5 people walk up to me. That was awesome. I have a conference. Can you come? I have a conference. Can you come?
Wow.
And then it just started snowballing. And now,
when was this?
this was in, so this is about 17 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Whatever that is.
Wow.
2007, 2008,
Yes, right around 2007, 2008. So then I get on these stages, and the next thing you know, I'm now the driver ed guy. And I'm doing these drug education seminars for driver ed teachers. To date, I think I've trained, I actually was looking at the number last night. It's over 14,000 driver education teachers in the US.
Amazing.
Oh, wow. And I've even so far, this is kind of funny. So I'm from Boston. I lived in Boston. Then I moved to Florida, and I got part of the Southeast Driver Ed Association. And I was actually elected their president. I served as their president-elect for a year, and then president for 2 years, and then past president for a year. So I was on their board for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Completely helped this group. When I got in there, they were cash flow negative. They had no money. They're putting on these conferences, and they were literally using the ticket money to pay the hotel.
Yeah.
Right? It was like, this is wrong. Like, you shouldn't do that. You should have money. So I went and created
What a concept, no?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I created a sponsorship program, and I got groups that wanted to talk to this group of people to sponsor the conference. I'm like, look, you're AAA. You need to give me $5,000.
Yeah.
Right. You want to come. You need to be our number one sponsor. You're the biggest driving place in the world. Like, you have billions of members. Like, you can give me $5,000. And they were like, okay. Like, nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, this is easy. So the next thing you know, I had like 40 grand in the bank. I'm like, guys, we got money. They were like, holy crap, we have money? What do we do now? I'm like, we're buying the hors d'oeuvres, guys, is what we're doing. Right? We're going to have some good food is what we're doing. We're going to take care of our members. And it just became, now they have money. And this is like 4 years later. And last year, I actually just got elected again as their president. They wanted me back.
Oh, wow.
They said, can you come back?
This is a Southeastern Drivers Education
Association.
Okay.
Yep. And then I also helped create the Florida Driver Ed Association. Florida had no Driver Ed Association. So I met a man who lives here in Tampa. His name's Derek Stewart. Awesome guy. He works for Florida Online Learning, which is basically a virtual online learning school for Florida, which I don't know if you guys know this, but any kid in Florida can go take free middle, high school, elementary school online and get accredited.
Yeah.
This is online learning program.
Wait, whoa.
Right.
This is, you mean like full school?
Full school for Florida, online, free for any Florida resident.
Yeah.
Okay. What's it called again?
Florida online, for Florida virtual school.
But is this by the government or is it by the state?
Yeah,
State funds it.
Okay. Florida's probably the most progressive schooling, like school choice state. By progressive, I mean not left side progressive. I mean like forward, like actually free.
Yes.
Like freedom. There's actual freedom.
Right. And you can go and you can take high school classes. You can get your degree, you can get your diploma, right? So you can get your high school diploma online.
Yeah.
So Derek runs the driver ed wing of that. He's been in driver ed forever. So I met Derek at the conference and said, Derek, we need to create a Florida association and bring all these Florida guys together. So we did. And now we have the Florida Driver Ed Association. So I'm on the board for that as well.
Is that like what kind of entity is that? Is that an LLC, a nonprofit?
It's a nonprofit.
Okay.
It's a 501c3. Basically what you do is you start it as a corporation, then you turn it into a nonprofit. So it's basically just a bunch of driver ed guys that meet every month and we coordinate strategy. We just got a law passed to make it mandatory for there to be driver education in Florida.
Oh, wow.
Because it was only the 4-hour online drug and alcohol course that you had to take, which if you look at that 4-hour online drug and alcohol course, it's horrible. And it's not, the state didn't make it. The state gave the guidelines for it. And then anyone can make it. Like I can go make it.
Yeah.
I can make this course and then I can get it approved by the state. It's a lot of work to do that. But
is that like, you mean required like for high school, for driving?
Any
for what?
new driver license in Florida.
Okay.
You have to do this 4-hour driver ed online course. And they give you a list of people you can buy it from. So anyway, so I started looking into this.
And that wasn't required before?
That's been required forever.
Okay.
And now we've got it so you have to do driver education. So the kid actually has to go through some standard driver ed. Because if you
not
look,
related to alcohol or drugs. This
No.
is just like
Yeah.
how to drive.
well, there is a drug and alcohol portion of that.
Okay.
There's 4 hours,
Yeah.
and I'm actually responsible for writing that curriculum.
Okay,
So
okay.
I'm writing
Nice.
that curriculum right now for the
Oh,
state.
wow.
Right. So I'm helping them figure that out.
I have a curriculum question.
Mhm.
So it seems like when you're talking about when you got into this field,
Mhm.
there was just kind of a dearth, like an absence of
yeah,
a curriculum.
in some sense, for the drug and alcohol piece.
Yes, exactly. No, I picked up on that. Is that based on what you've seen, because
Mm-hmm.
you've been in it now for a long time,
Mhm.
is that because of lack of, like, it's just not a profitable thing? There was nobody who came along with a solution? Or is that a function of people actually weren't in full agreement that there should actually be a drug and alcohol? Because here's the thing, like if you disagree with something, but you can't openly disagree with it,
Mhm.
you kind of have to ignore it. Like
Sure.
that's a form of not addressing something, is a form of like,
Right.
I don't want something to happen there.
Sure.
What's your take on that from what you've seen?
My take on it is just improper education on drugs. These guys are driver ed teachers. They know a lot about driver education, how to drive a car.
Improper education of the educators.
That's right. Like how to actually educate kids on drugs. How
do you tell them?
Having resources and materials. I tell them by giving them proper resources and materials and showing them, one, why are these kids most of the time getting on drugs?
Mhm.
No purpose, no game, no goals.
That's right.
Right. Boredom.
Yep.
Right. I mean, that's what I did.
Yep.
I was 13 years old. I was huge in sports. I really loved basketball and baseball. Like I was big in it.
Dude, I'm kind of having a realization right here, Darren. I'm like when you just
This is what I do, just so you know.
I was
I
like,
create
wow.
feelings in others that they themselves can't explain.
You know, so I'm a younger guy. I'm 32. So and Aaron's also a younger guy. 35.
Nice.
But so where'd you go to school?
I'm a younger guy. What do you mean?
I-
You think I'm
You're
not
You're
old?
younger. You're a younger.
It's
guy.
all-
No, I'm just
Call me old here?
I'm teeing up my realization. It was not that long ago that I was in a public high school.
Uh-huh.
Did you go to public high school?
I did.
Yeah.
Cora Park.
Yeah.
Dedham High. Severian. I went to Severian Brothers High School in Westwood, Massachusetts. Then I went to Dedham High.
So thank you for that.
You're welcome. In case you shout out to Severian. Thank
the
you.
thing that I'm like having a realization on is I was actually always told in high school that you do drugs because of peer pressure. That's actually what everyone told me. But as you said that, I was like, no. Like the little bit of drugs that I did, because I experimented with some drugs in high school.
Mm-hmm.
It was because of boredom and unutilized time and not having a clear game and purpose. And
Right.
I stopped when I got accepted to West Point for college.
Yeah, you
because
had
then I had
purpose.
need to prep.
I can't
And
be
it
on
was
drugs.
like, yeah, exactly.
They're
That's
going
right.
to drug test me, maybe. Yeah,
Of course,
Right.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah.
Sorry. Blame it, Ricky. But yeah, for sure. Yeah, but you're totally right.
Right.
I
But then
Okay,
there's
this
all
is
this.
isn't news to anyone else, but this is like the first time I've heard this.
No, let me just say,
yeah.
I agree with that to a big degree because I actually people don't really offer you drugs that much.
Yes.
It's mostly
Yes.
everyone's smoking around
Yes.
you, and then you're supposed to be like, "Yo, can I get a hit?" Right? Like,
That's right.
I actually have only
That's right.
I've only been offered, I think, maybe
This is what
like
I do,
2 or
guys.
3 times.
Yeah.
Get people to realize things on
I've only
their
been
own.
offered like drugs. Actually, as an adult, it's been a couple times, and as like in high school,
Mhm.
I was maybe only offered 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
But the
That's right.
chance
Same.
when
Same, by the way.
people around you are doing that was a lot,
Right.
a lot, right?
Yeah.
So like, it's more
Yeah.
like it's there for you to grab and be like, oh, look.
Right.
So it's not really the
That's
peer
right.
pressure so much as
I mean, you
But
can
that-
call
but
that.
that's- but
You could
that was
call
all-
that peer pressure if you
yeah,
want
can
to
call it,
technically.
yeah, sure.
But
Fine.
But I like.
But it's not the real why, though.
No,
it's
it's
not
not.
the real why. It's like you wouldn't, when you're not bored, you're not interested in, you can be interested in other people, but you're not like interested in a like envious way of what other people are doing around you because you're freaking on you have your purpose, your
Right.
game you're playing your game.
Right.
Wow.
And that's so one of the things that I go into with these teachers is like, look, help these kids find a purpose,
Yeah.
right? Help them figure out what their goal is in life that they want to achieve.
Do you
And-
find, sorry for interrupting.
No, go ahead.
Do you find that that's a tall order for them to like,
Sure. I mean, but what?
because I think for some people who are driver's ed educators, they may find it, or in any education sphere, they may find it a little intimidating, that statement of help them find their purpose.
Well, it's interesting because what I have,
their own purpose.
right. Well, what I've seen with the driver ed community is driver ed teachers are not getting wealthy being driver ed teachers.
Of course.
So they're not doing it for that purpose. They're literally doing it because they love and care about kids.
Uh,
It's a very passionate group, right?
Oh,
they have
wow.
they have really big hearts and they want to help these kids.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have seen kids that have come through their program die from drugs and alcohol. I would say most of them. I do this survey at most of my seminars. I say, who has had a kid die from drugs and alcohol? And you'll see 95% of the room raise their hand.
Oof.
That's a kid that they knew that came through them and that is now dead.
Yeah.
Right now, obviously, they could maybe have done something about it. Maybe not. Who knows, right? You never know.
Yeah.
But I'm going to help them to make it so that in the future, they can potentially do something about it.
Yeah.
Right? By one, educating these kids. Had I known what LSD would have done to me,
Yeah.
I would never have done it.
Yeah.
Had I known what cocaine would do to me,
Yeah.
I never would have done it.
Yeah.
Is this you? You're talking you now?
Me personally.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, had I known what these things would have done to my life,
Yeah.
I didn't know. Had I known what weed really was,
Yep.
and what its long-term and short-term effects were on me, I would have never done it.
That's right.
And weed now is not weed in 1992.
Mhm.
Actually, 90, 89, 90.
Yeah.
It's not the same weed.
Yeah.
Right? It's genetically engineered to be super, super potent.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Mm.
You will, if you just Google celebrity talking about doing weed, you're going to find a million episodes of people talking about how it caused them to have psychotic breaks,
Mhm.
how it caused them to go crazy.
That's right.
Because the potency of weed now is in the 40 to 50% THC, tetrahydrocannabidiol. That's the drug in marijuana that causes you to get high.
What did it used to be? Like in
When
the
I was
90s?
smoking weed, it was 3 to 6.
3 to 6%, up to
Right.
40 to 50%.
Well, now you can vape in Florida. You can buy, I don't know if they have it in Florida, maybe in some of the places, but you can buy 80 to 90% pure THC.
Wow.
Some cases, 99% THC. And you vape it. So the thing about it is any drug can be turned into a liquid.
Mhm.
So you
Oh,
take
yeah.
you take the drug, you turn it into a liquid, you extract the
vaporize
THC, and now you're hitting it. So now these guys, that's the thing too, with a vape, I don't have to go somewhere and light my joint.
Yeah.
Mm.
No,
Right.
no smell, right?
Right.
With
I
the
don't-
pure
you
THC.
can- that's right. You can have
Oh my
odorless
God,
vapes.
dude.
And this is the same thing with cigarettes and nicotine. I don't have to go when I smoke cigarettes, which I did for 15 years. I quit when I was 30 when I realized this is half of my life and I have children. I'm going to die. Like, I need to stop. So I stopped smoking,
Yeah.
which was hard, really, really difficult.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is, I would have to go somewhere and smoke.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now I can hit my vape all day long.
That's right.
So now I'm getting high or on something all day long. And
Yeah.
then there's the danger part of I hand you a vape
Mm-hmm.
and you don't know what's in
What's
that
in
vape.
it? Mm.
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine who's the in charge of driver education for the state of Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
His son went to LSU, Louisiana State, freaking huge college, right?
Yeah.
He goes to LSU. He's there. He's a couple weeks in, maybe like a week and a half in. Meets these kids. They're hanging out. They're driving around town. Kid hands him a vape. Takes a hit. It's a highly potent hallucinogen. Right? And he has a psychotic episode. They laugh. They kick him out of the car. He walks around Baton Rouge for 3 days completely out of it. Parents thought he was kidnapped or died.
For 3 days?
3
For one hit.
days, one hit from a vape, right? His parents thought he was dead. So they drive down there and they find him laying in a park, like half naked, all dirty, unfed, just out of it. They were like, what happened? And finally they pulled the string and find out this is what happened.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, there you go. So when
Wow.
Jeez. Did your friend become a teacher after that, or he was already?
he was already a teacher and he already knew me and he called me and told me what happened and said, you need to tell this story. And I'm like, oh, I will tell that story. And here
Yeah.
I am.
Yep. There you go.
Got you, bud.
Yeah.
Bud Shaughnessy, awesome guy.
Yeah.
Love these guys. They're great driver ed teachers. They've been helping the world forever.
Wow.
So back to your point, the driver ed community has this big purpose to help and do
Wow.
good. So when I plugged into this,
It makes sense now that you say that.
right. And when
Yeah.
I plugged into this community, I'm like, hey guys, here are these resources that you can use to educate kids on drugs. And they were like, well, this is amazing. This is something we can use. And now it's being used broadly.
Wow.
And to answer your question earlier, like, how do you know how much reach you have? It's almost impossible to really know
Mhm.
the number of people that I reached.
Mhm.
And I'll give you a real life example. Last week, I was at the New England Driver Ed Conference in Massachusetts. Literally 5 minutes from where I lived when I was in Massachusetts. We had a house 5 minutes away. It was the weirdest thing. I'm like, why are we here, right?
Oh, wow.
So anyway, so I go back and I'm at this conference. And I did my seminar and then I'm walking back. I'm leaving and this lady comes up and she goes, you don't know me. She goes, but do you know the sheriff? And she named the sheriff from years ago. And I go, yeah, I know him. He was the Worcester County Sheriff, which is a large county in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And I go, I know him. I went to a fundraiser for him and I brought him a DVD, a Drug Free World DVD, and said, here, show this to your kids if you're ever going to do drug education, if you become the sheriff. Go, because you, as a sheriff, have a responsibility for educating your community on what drugs are. That is part of your job. And I literally like laid into him, right? And he was like, okay, yeah, you're right. It's cool. I'll go watch this. She goes, well, he took that DVD. And for the 7 years that I worked with him, he showed it to every middle and high school student in the entire county.
Wow.
He literally went and did assemblies at every middle and high school and showed them your DVD. I was like, what? She goes, yep. We showed it to over 400,000 kids in 7 years. I'm like,
wow.
You got to be kidding me. Same thing happened with me. I was up in Vermont. Actually, I was at another group I work with a lot is law enforcement. So we work a lot with the school resource officers, the National Association of School Resource Officers. These are cops that work in schools. Super great guys. 90% of them have a huge purpose to help kids. The other 10% were thrown on post and wish they weren't. Right. But most of them really care and want to do it. And the ones that don't eventually get someone in that does, because working with kids isn't for everybody. It's especially high schoolers. You're in high school and they're crazy. Right now they're like carrying guns and like stabbing each other. It's a different world, right? Now, when I'm at my school resource, I didn't deal with. He maybe broke up a fight every now and then, or found a bag of weed on a kid and was like, "Darren, what was that on there?" I don't know why I had that, sir. No, those
somebody else's.
Those little gram baggies are because I like to carry it around in small quantities. I wasn't selling. Anyway, sorry, Officer Munchback. I was selling weed back then, yes. So anyway, but the law enforcement community is great. So I started working with them, and then I started working with the Police Athletics League, which are cops that work in schools as well, and they do sports activities. But my point was, I was at the National Association of School Resource Officer Conference. Cop walks up to me. Weatherby, I think his last name is. Super cool cop. He was the school resource officer up in St. Albans, Vermont. So 2007, I go up to the middle of nowhere, Vermont, and they asked me to speak to the town hall about drugs. Don't know how it ended up happening, but I'm like, yeah, what the hell? Let's go to Vermont. So I go to Vermont. I'm talking to the town hall and the school resource officer, the mayor, and the whole board and everyone. I'm telling about drug education, right? So then I leave. He goes, Darren, I want you to know I showed that DVD to every single high schooler for the past 7 years.
Wow.
No, it was like 10 years. He's like, it's like 6,000 kids a year. And we show them that DVD still. I'm like, well, there you go. So you kind of know how many people you reach.
400,000 here, 200,000 here.
Boom, boom, boom.
I mean,
right.
And that's one day of work.
One conversation. So I guess the point is never stop talking about your purpose and mission in life. Right. And when you find your purpose and mission in life, run with it. And the way that in my personal viewpoint, the way you know that it's your purpose and mission in life is when you talk about it and you get super excited. And you don't care if you're making money at it or not. Right. Like this was my biggest expense and probably still is for a very, very long time. Right. All these events I do every year. I do about 25 events a year. My wife and I fund it. Right. We get some donations here and there. We did. Now we have our nonprofit. And that's why I started the nonprofit, to just kind of take this to the next level. Right. To really have a group and an organization that can organize and properly make sure that all educators everywhere know how to educate kids on drugs. Right. So that it's being done right, because there is a way of doing it. There's a way to talk to a kid and get them to actually go, oh, I didn't know that. And the drug-free world materials are awesome for that too. But that teacher has to know how to present that. And has to know, what can I do? How can I do this? How do I do this? What do I say?
So let's say if you had like a 5 minutes, let's say, or 3, or however, like a short time, there's a teacher. Somehow this video gets to a teacher who has a class of 20, 30, whatever it is.
Let's go crazy and say 60 seconds.
2 minutes. How should they approach this topic? What should they do? How do they go?
Okay.
I'm a teacher. I have a class of 30. They're 10th graders.
Okay, so you have 10th grade kids, right? First thing you want to do is you want to get in communication with these kids so that they actually know that you're real. And you're not just there to talk to them as a statistic, right? And either you have personal experiences about drugs or you don't have personal experience about drugs. If you do, like in my case, I always bring up who I am and where I came from. Look, I did a lot of drugs when I was a kid, smoked a lot of weed. I was awesome in sports, basketball, baseball, the whole 9 yards, skateboarder, big skateboarder, actually skateboarded with Tony Hawk, right? So I was a big skater. And then I started smoking weed and nothing mattered anymore. All I cared about was getting high. And every morning I would wake up and I would smoke weed. And then at lunchtime at school, when I was in middle school, I would go into the psychiatrist's office, open his window and smoke a joint out the window. After school, I would get high. And my whole goal was, how do I get more weed? How do I get more weed? So I give my story, right? And then people started dying. Friends I know, acquaintances I know, drunk driving, overdose, dead. I'm now 13, 14 years old, 7 friends dead. And what really woke me up was when my best friend was driving. He bought a motorcycle. He was 15 years old. Bought a motorcycle on the Want Ads. You guys remember the Want Ads? Maybe not. It's a book that had it was like an online directory, but it was a book. Bought a motorcycle. We went out and stole a license plate because he couldn't get one. Put it on his bike. He was riding around. About 3 weeks later, he's coming home from school, doing 100 miles an hour, crashes into a tree dead. Killed my friend Steve on the back, right? And that woke me up like, I'm going to die.
Was he high?
I don't know if he was.
You don't know. Okay.
I do know he smoked a lot of weed.
Okay.
So whether he was high then and there, I don't think his mom opted for toxicology because she probably didn't want to know.
Right.
Anyway, but he was dead, and that was kind of like the wake-up call. So the point is, you can communicate about your story to the kids. If you don't, use someone else's story, but make it real.
Yep.
And then let these kids know, look, where do you want to be in 5 and 10 years from now? And most of these kids don't know where they want to be next week.
Yeah.
And that was the one thing that literally woke me up. I was in 10th grade. I'm in my English teacher's class. And this guy goes, Darren, where do you want to be in 10 years? I was like, wow, man, I don't even know where I'm going to be next month. Like, I have no idea. I'm actually kind of high right now. Right. Right. And I'm like, I don't know. And he goes, well, why are you here? And I go, well, I'm here because my parents would kill me if I left school. He goes, that's not a reason. You need to have a reason to be here. And I was like, well, they're right. So I got up and I literally left and I quit high school. I walked out and I realized that I needed to get away from everyone around me. This entire group that I was surrounding myself with, if I stayed there, I was dead.
Wow.
Maybe not physically dead, but I wasn't going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
So I left and I got in my car. I had a car and I drove to New Hampshire and I got an apartment and I started teaching skiing at a local mountain.
Wow.
I was
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
Freaking go.
2.5 hours away. I mean, it may not have happened all the same.
16-year-old
day.
kid.
Sure.
16 years old.
16 years old. I was
Wow.
the youngest ski instructor at Loon Mountain in New Hampshire. I actually got the job out of there's about 1,100 people tried out and they hired 20 of us.
Wow.
And I couldn't believe I made it. I was like, wow. They're like, well, you're a good skier and you know how to talk to kids. I was like, great. But I wasn't high anymore. I stopped the weed, stopped the drinking. I haven't smoked weed or drank alcohol since.
Wow.
I mean, I maybe had a beer here and there, but I haven't had alcohol in over 10 years. Right.
Yeah.
So I just kind of that's it. I started to figure out, what do I want to do with my life? What is my purpose? What is my mission? Where do I want to go? Because this is not it. I don't want to die.
Wow.
Right. And then give them the knowledge of what the drugs are. What is marijuana? What is heroin? What is cocaine? What is fentanyl, for crying out loud? You guys want to know what fentanyl is?
I honestly have no idea. I have no earthly idea.
Okay. So
I literally don't know.
So do you know what an opioid is?
Yep.
Okay.
Comes from the poppy seed,
right? Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, poppy
poppy
plant.
seed.
That's the poppy plant.
Okay, got it.
Right. You do some chemical compounds and you create. Well,
Same stuff the heroin's made out of.
That's right. Same stuff the heroin's made of. Fentanyl is a synthetic version of an opioid. It creates the same effect in your body, this euphoric feeling in your body that causes you to kind of separate from your pain receptors so you don't feel pain and you feel euphoric. And it's this amazing feeling of like, wow, this is awesome, right? But then you crash. And the thing that people don't know about drugs is you get high and then you crash and you want that again. So you go do the drug again, but you never quite get back to that same level. It's called chasing the high. You're trying to get to this high again, crash, and you keep going lower and lower and lower and lower. With opioids, you're at a point where you cannot function without them. You get physically ill, flu-like sick, unless you're high.
Yep.
So what fentanyl is doing is it's a synthetic opioid like heroin. It's 100 times more potent than heroin. And what it does is it literally sucks all the oxygen out of your body and causes you to suffocate.
What?
Yeah. So that's why a little teeny 5
Oh,
milligrams.
so it's like a poison, basically.
It's a poison.
Because there are poisons that operate the same way, where it takes all the oxygen out of your blood, and then boom, you suffocate without.
That's
well,
right.
You can breathe, but you suffocate.
That's right. Like you ever hear
Wow.
of Narcan? Have you heard of this? Narcan is the anti-fentanyl. They hit you with Narcan, it pumps the oxygen back into your blood, and you come back to life. It revives the dead. Literally, it revives the dead. I've seen and heard stories of dead people that were brought back to life minutes after dying from fentanyl overdoses. Now they have a nasal spray. They shoot up your nose, and it goes right into the bloodstream.
Wow.
But anyway, so fentanyl is super, super powerful.
So is suffocating? It suffocates you on purpose. Like is the effect effect like when you don't have oxygen, you feel a certain way? Like
well, what it is low dosages will cause a euphoric feeling of high. Too much will cause the suffocation and death.
Okay.
And also lower dosages than that will cause pain, where I can literally cut your chest open and pull out your heart. Pain, like med. That's what this stuff is made for. It's like an what do you call it?
Oh, it causes pain, like nullification.
There's no pain.
Like,
Amnesia.
Painless. Yeah.
Not amnesia, but
anesthesia.
anesthesia.
Yeah,
That's it, right?
yeah.
So like they'll use it to control that pain if your anesthesia is coming in and out, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you're unconscious.
Yeah,
it helps that- it blocks it
it's
because-
medically used.
Hold on.
It's medically used.
Yeah.
I have friends who have recently given birth,
Mhm.
and they are putting fentanyl inside of the IV for the mothers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my wife is one of them.
Yeah.
And we said no to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We opted for a different
Because it's an
route.
anesthesia, right?
Yeah.
The fentanyl. I mean, it's
Yeah.
everywhere. This fentanyl is
Right.
taken over.
That's right. Well, what happens is it's really, really cheap, and 2 milligrams can kill a 200-pound body, right? So you think of like
I'm more than 200
2
pounds.
milligrams
I
is
can
like
take
nothing.
2
I mean,
milligrams.
that's like
Sorry, it just sounded like a challenge.
yeah, I'll do it.
I'll
man.
take you on.
but 2 milligrams is extremely small. Like you couldn't even feel something that you're
Right.
holding is 2 milligrams.
It's very, very small, like the
Yeah.
tip of a pencil small.
Yep.
So what happens is this is what's happened with the fentanyl trade in America, right? Big cartels making heroin and cocaine and other drugs in the South of America, mainly Mexico, trading it up in the U.S., having operations and literally distribution centers where people are selling their drugs. And then China realizes that they can make fentanyl in mass quantities for really cheap. They partner up with these 3 main cartels, and they ship them the large amounts of fentanyl, and then they mix it into the heroin and the other drugs because it's very addicting, right? And then for the last 4 years, the borders were wide open. So all the cartels just came walking across the borders and set up shops. And if you go to the DEA website, you'll see a DEA chart of a map of the U.S., like a dark light scale of how many cartel members are operating in those states. 10 years ago, it was little dots. 4 years ago, it was the whole country was full
So
of cartels.
they know where they are. Then
They weren't doing shit. The border control, ICE was not
There's
operational.
been zero enforcement.
They weren't doing anything about
No,
it.
but I mean, like, so like this is a drug dealer dealing right there. You
Well,
can't
the
arrest them or
the
anything?
DEA is not huge. They're not thousands and tens of thousands of people. They were doing the best they could.
Okay.
Right. And now ICE and DEA are being like, okay, let's go get them all out.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of them. And you see the fentanyl. But we started seeing American deaths from fentanyl overdoses peaked at 100,000 in 2024. Right. 100,000
Yep.
Americans die.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's more than Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
That's like 9/11 was 4,000 people.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's
Wow.
just going under the radar. So we've had over 500,000 people die in the last administration from drug overdoses. Right. It's like, I'm sorry. Yeah. Over 500,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
So these numbers are just staggering. Like China as a nation is a communist nation
Mhm.
and has openly does not like America. Right. So they have literally, this is how they've infiltrated. And
Yeah.
you can even look at the DEA website and they'll say China remains the primary source of fentanyl in this world.
That's why there's a fentanyl tariff.
Right.
Actually, there's a tariff. There's 20% of all goods out of China.
Well,
and
now,
Mexico, I think.
what
Maybe
happened was so
40%,
they clamped down on it, and then China started making parts of the fentanyl and shipping it to other countries to make all of the fentanyl.
Yeah.
And then they started shipping it into America.
And how like how are you aware of this? Like, how do you come across this information?
I know a lot of people, and I meet a lot of people that do what I do
Mhm.
or study what's going on, like DEA and things like that.
Okay.
So they kind of keep me in the loop, and I know what's happening, and that's kind of how because part of my seminars when I deliver trainings to teachers is to tell them what's happening with drugs. What's the current drugs that are on the market? What are the kids
Yeah,
seeing?
what to look
What are
for
they
now.
doing? Right? How are they doing it? Like you can get a joint now and there'll be fentanyl in it and you won't even know. Right. And,
Okay.
and you could die.
Incredible. Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy. So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
previous to the start of going into, hey, I want to talk to kids about drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that come from?
Me?
Yeah. Like what in your personal journey led to that drug-free world, so on and so forth?
You know, it's interesting because I moved up to New Hampshire, started teaching skiing, stopped all drugs, literally disconnected from all of those people.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, right around that move, I was sitting at home one night, getting high, and a friend of mine called me and said, "Hey, Darren, what are you doing? I'm coming over. We're going to go into Boston." I'm like, "Oh, cool. We're going to go get laid or we're going to get some weed or whatever," right? Just being a kid. I'm like, 14, 15. I was 15 years old. Let's go. Comes by my house, picks me up, and he brought me to the Church of Scientology, Boston.
Wow.
Huh.
And he goes, "I bought this book, Dianetics, on TV. I started reading it, changed my life. My whole viewpoint on everything has changed, and I want you to look at this." I was like, "Yeah, dude, I'm not religious. I'm not going into a church." He goes, "Just check it out." So I went in there and I did this thing called a personality test, which literally is your viewpoint of you.
Yeah.
It's how you feel about you. So I did this test, and it shows you how you feel about yourself. And I did not feel good about myself. My stability, I was all over the place. I couldn't concentrate. Like, it was really bad. And the lady's like, "Look, this is your test results. If you want to do something about it, you can do this Dianetics course, and it's going to teach you about your mind and how your mind works." And then she said this, she goes, "It's going to show you how the losses in your past are affecting you in the present time and how to stop those losses in your past from affecting you now. So you can be you here now instead of being controlled by all those losses." I was like, well, those losses are probably having a huge effect on me because some of my friends are dead. Like, particularly my best friend, Derek. Like, we were really tight. He's dead. Like, that messed my head up a little bit.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to try this. So I tried the course, and then I went in. There's a thing called auditing where you go and you look at the things in the past that are affecting you. And you basically just look at the unconscious part of them. And by doing that, you can see how they are unconsciously affecting you in present time.
Mm-hmm.
And by just looking at it, it stops it from being able to unconsciously control you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like a great example is a friend of mine who was allergic to this flower. Right? Well, she was being born, believe it or not. And the doctor was saying to the mother, quick, get her out. She can't breathe. And this flower was sitting there. So the unconscious part of the mind doesn't think in reason. It thinks in similarity. So everything is the same as everything else. So the smell of the flower was the same if you can't breathe. So her whole life, whenever she smelled this flower, she couldn't breathe. So in Dianetics, she just went back and looked at that moment and saw what the doctor said and saw the flower there and then, oh my God, and boop, it went away. Mm-hmm. Now the unconscious mind is not the everything is the same as everything else, went away. Mm-hmm. And she was like, oh. And now she literally went to the store and bought a flower. I was like, oh my God, I can smell the flower. I can breathe. Right? And I was like, that's pretty amazing. So that's kind of what happened. I went in session. I did a Dianetics session. My first day there, actually second day, the first day I came in, I was high. And she told me, you can't be high. She goes, you can't smoke weed and do Dianetics. And then they made me wait a couple of days for the drugs to come out of my body. And then I came back and I went in session.
I think we've heard this story. Similar story a couple times from other people. Dude, you'd be shocked how many people go in and they're like, I'm high right now. And they're like, we'll come back once you're not high.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we can't audit you. You're just not there, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, so I did this session and I actually went in and handled the loss of Derek.
Wow.
And then found out what was before that it was triggering. And then boom, all that charge that I had on that went away. And I just started kind of clearly seeing my future as not being dead and realized, wow, you know what? I might not die. I might actually be able to live and do something in this lifetime. And that's when the whole, like, let's go, I'm out. I left.
So how, that conversation that it was a teacher that talked to you and said, hey, where are you going to be in 5 years, 10 years, a teacher?
That was a high school teacher, my English teacher. I don't even know his name.
Oh my gosh.
I barely made it into that class. Like, I think I went there 4 or 5 times. It was really early in my 10th grade.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I barely made it. So I went to a private high school called Severian Brothers High School. That was my trying to get out of the drug scene earlier. I was trying to disconnect. So I got my grandfather to send me this school. It's like a $12,000 a year school. And I'm in this private school. Well, they're all smoking coke. And they're doing harder drugs. And I was like, this is not helping. And I was still smoking weed. So I like barely made it through my 9th grade. And then I was like, I'm not going to go waste my grandfather's money anymore because I'm just going to keep smoking weed. So I'll go back to public school. So I went back to Dedham High where all my friends were. And everybody I knew was there. And it was like, this is not good. This is not good. This is not good.
And
that's
that's where the teacher was there from the high school.
Yeah.
From the public high school.
And he's like, you need to find your mission. Like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Right. And I don't think I found that for a while.
Right.
It took me a while to come up to that. Like,
so, but how long? Okay. So you win in, you did this Dianetics thing.
it was right around, I went into Dianetics in August.
Yeah.
And then I went to school in September.
Okay.
And now I'm like trying to figure out, because I now know like I got to get out of here. These drugs are going to kill me. Yeah. I'm not doing drugs anymore.
And you didn't get fully off the weed. I mean, you were still smoking. So you did the Dianetics thing. You wouldn't smoke while you were auditing. Then you got back onto it. Right.
Exactly. And then that conversation, I was like, no, he's right. Like, I need to do something.
Wow.
I need to find my purpose in life. So I don't know, whoever you are, Mr. English teacher, I should actually go look and find out who he is. Because he was probably
you kind of owe this guy a little bit.
I quit school.
At least an acknowledgement. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna go to Dedham High, look at my transcripts, and see who this dude was, and I'm gonna give him a call and be like, "Hey, buddy, just so you know, here you can find out who I am. Watch this podcast."
There we go. Yeah.
Right? Because it's funny because my middle school teacher, my middle school principal, she was the vice principal at the time, Miss Montagano. She was always pulling me out of class because I would fight with the teachers. Teacher would tell me something and I'd be like, I don't like what you're talking about. You can't treat them like that. I was kind of like, it was interesting because I look back, I was kind of like the bully protector. If someone was bullying somebody, I would beat them up.
You beat up the bully.
Beat up the bully. So I used to fight all the time. Like I fought a lot because I was mad and I was high and people were dying and I just didn't give a shit anymore. I remember I'm in the auditorium. I'm sitting in the auditorium and it's like 600 kids in the class. And this kid behind me is messing with this kid next to him. And I'm like, dude, you need to knock it off. Like, you need to leave him alone. He's like, well, what the hell are you going to do about it? And he starts yelling at me. And I jumped up over the seat and I put my knees on his shoulders and I just started beating him. And I'm like, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, right? So they grabbed me off and pulled me out and suspended me for a week. And that was like, we'll suspend you for a week. But that principal, that vice principal, knew that there was something going on with this person. There was more than drugs. So she pulled me and was pulling me out of classes and like trying to help me in life. And I found her, and I'm now friends with her. And like, we're friends. We've met and we hung out. And she's like, I'm like, just want you to know, like, you helped me figure this out. Like, that you were right. That bull crap that you saw going on wasn't me, right? Anyway,
amazing.
So I'm gonna find this guy, and I'm gonna just let him know I'm alive and I'm doing okay. Yeah. Anyway, so then years later, after doing all the drug education, travel around the country, talking to teachers and lots of teachers, lots of seminars, lots of conferences. I do a lot of conferences. I decided I need to start a nonprofit. I need to fund this properly. But not only that, I need to replicate what I'm doing massively. There's a lot of kids in this country, and there's a lot of false information about what drugs and alcohol do to you. And the media and social media especially is just glorifying how okay it is to get high and how okay it is to be doing these drugs. And these kids don't have a chance. They're not given the opportunity to see both sides of the story, right? It's kind of like, you look at our political scene, it's very, very separated. And I think the major separation politically has a lot to do with social media and the algorithm that social media is set up on. If I go to Instagram, try this, go to Instagram and just start watching surfing videos. I don't care if you like surfing. Just start watching surfing videos and watch the whole video, right? You then go look at your feed and you're going to see all surfing videos. It's going to feed you what it thinks you're going to like because it wants you to stay. So if I start watching how amazing Joe Biden is videos, I'm going to just see how amazing Joe Biden videos or how bad the Republicans are videos or how bad the Democrats are videos. You're just going to keep getting that. And then you just keep getting inundated and then you get this great divide. We have these people over here and these people over here who are like, I hate you, right? And it's just, some of them are saying it than others, obviously, on both sides, right? So anyway, these kids are seeing this glorification of drugs and alcohol, especially like you look at my generation. We love to drink. Look at all the freaking microbreweries and different types of beers.
Yeah, totally.
It's like, dude, like, come on, man. Like, and then the kids see this, oh, it's nothing wrong with alcohol. And then we legalize marijuana. Ah, it can't be that bad. It's legal.
Yeah.
Right. And now their parents are getting high. So what's wrong with weed? And then they're getting high. Right. And then it's a slippery slope. And I don't care what your viewpoint is on, well, marijuana is not a gateway. It's not going to lead to other drugs. Yes, it is.
What's so fun?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's the biggest BS
that
statement
I
in the
just have
world.
to say, I think people, they hear that once and they say they're gonna stick to it because it makes it okay for them to smoke.
Right.
That's right.
But the statistics, I mean, I read a study, I think it was a 2003 study, and they said that something like 78% of all drug users started with marijuana.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like, dude, what is the stat? Where's the debunk the myth? Like,
So
what,
here's a
you
graph.
tell me, right?
Here's a graph we're going to put up here. I'm going to send you the graph. You
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
see this graph here? It shows you in green and blue how much heavy drugs people do and how much marijuana people do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to show you that when they don't smoke and they don't drink, they don't do heavy drugs and they don't do marijuana.
Yep.
Mhm.
Is basically what the study's proven.
Mm-hmm.
So if you start drinking or you start smoking cigarettes or nicotine within vaping, it will lead to you doing marijuana and then heavier drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing with marijuana, when you're smoking weed, other drugs are going to come around.
Yeah.
You may not,
Absolutely.
and that's the concept. Well, I'm not going to go looking for heroin.
Mhm. It'll come looking for you.
It'll come. It'll find you.
No, it will. It will though. Actually,
Mhm.
it will though.
It will be there. If you
Yeah.
smoke weed and you're in the weed smoking world,
Mhm.
heroin will find you.
Yep.
Let's.
It's up to you whether you do it or not. And sometimes you'll do it and not know you're doing it.
That's the worst.
Yeah, that's
right?
crazy.
That's
Yeah, that's
That's what's
that's where the
freaking
fentanyl thing
crazy.
comes in.
That's where the fentanyl comes in. Right?
So let's talk for a second about the phrase open-minded. Can we talk about this for a second? The phrase
Sure.
open-minded. So
Oh,
because
like-
I had a huge confusion on this. So
Mhm.
one thing that I've come to realize is that in looking back at when I was using drugs, so I smoked weed, tried a couple other things, like did like psychedelic mushrooms and shit like that. But it was like once I started something, it was like all of a sudden I became very open-minded, which is like a good thing. I'm
Mhm.
saying that sarcastically with air quotes.
Right.
I became open-minded then to other drugs. And I saw a lot of my friends follow that exact same route. Like
Right.
started smoking weed in high school. And then all of a sudden I go visit them when we're both in college 3 years later. We're like juniors in college. And the dude's got freaking DMT in his bedroom. He's got DMT. He's doing
What is
like
a
we go out-
DMT?
DMT. It's a very
You know what DMT? Could you explain?
it's a hard
No?
hallucinogenic. No,
I-
DMT is a very
oh, like
highly-
ecstasy.
No, it's not really like a club drug. It's like boom, you're like,
I probably know it by a different name.
Okay.
yeah. So anyways, it's like comes in a wax. He's like smoking that. And then we go out to like, we just go out. I didn't drink at the time, but we went out to bars and whatever. And he's got a bag of cocaine with him. He's doing coke out at the bars. Like every hour he's got to go into the bathroom and do coke. I'm like, geez, what happened
Wow.
to this guy? It was like just smoking.
So you started
weed in
smoking
high
weed with the
school.
guy.
Yeah. It was just smoking weed in high school. It's just like
Wow.
just a joint, right? And then now all of a sudden he's like a hardcore drug user
Right.
every day. And also weed every day as well.
And that's your
Continually.
open-minded.
Yeah. So all of a sudden I've observed people become like they start with weed and then that makes them very open-minded, which we've all been told it's a good thing. Be open-minded.
try things out.
Just give it a try.
Okay.
You never know what could happen. It's
Right.
like, yeah.
Well, now you have the ketamine stores around. I don't know if you've seen these. Ketamine is like a hallucinogen. It is a hallucinogen.
Yeah.
You can go into these different clinics and they'll sit you down and they'll dose you with ketamine and you can have a safe trip.
Yeah, I know about that. I know someone who I know who at the clinic, like a medical doctor,
Giving out ketamine.
says, "Yeah, here you go. This is for you," and a medical doctor will prescribe it as like a
Wow.
thing to do to deal
my
with
God.
Wow.
whatever issues.
Yeah.
Like not a place to even have a trip. It's like this is a medically whatever thing that you should
Mhm.
take to whatever make you feel better
Right.
in a medical clinic.
Crazy.
Well, one thing I've noticed just from my training and studies of the subject is that when a person does something they shouldn't do,
Yeah.
they're going to continue to do things along that line to make
Yeah.
it okay for having done it.
That's right.
They're justifying what they've done. Right?
The harder drugs make the weed okay.
That's
Because
right.
it's like,
Well, I already
it's
did the
only
weed. It's only weed. And now
Yeah.
it's only a little bit of heroin. And now you do a little bit of heroin. It's only a little bit of crack. I'll give you an example, a real life example. I've just found out a few months ago that my brother was hooked on heroin for the last year. And he was calling me up, and this kid was doing great at one point. He had over 250 apartment buildings. Like, he was rocking it. And then, he was a multimillionaire, very well to do. And then his wife left him, and he just crashed and burned and lost all the apartments and was living in his truck. I didn't know he was living in his truck. And he was calling me for money and like, hey, Darren, can I borrow some money? My alternator's broken. I had no idea. So I found out that he's on heroin.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, anyway, so I finally like got him to come to his senses. But what also helped him was he got into a car accident. Someone rear-ended him and he was almost paralyzed and he was in the hospital and they wouldn't let him have drugs. So he ended up getting clean.
Forced. Yeah.
Right, they're not going to be like, here's your heroin, sir, in your hospital bed.
His friends were coming in, but to
in
give
some
him heroin.
states they will.
Some states they'll keep you high.
They will keep you
They'll keep you high. Like, well, because what happens is you go through some major withdrawals. And he was telling me, I'm like, Derek, like, how does this happen? Like, I want to know, where did this happen? As well, it started with just smoking a little weed. And then the next thing you know, like, he goes, but I never injected a needle. I'm like, wow, good for you, right? He goes, but you just start smoking a little heroin, and then next thing you know, you're like, you get this high, and you have to have the high.
Yeah,
you can't live without that high. He goes, there was a point where it was about a $200 to $300 a day habit, and then I weaned it down to about a $50 a day habit, where I could get $50 of heroin and that'll keep me high throughout the entire day and sustain me from getting sick. He could still function. He was still working, but he was not sick. And that's what's happening. You get stuck in this cycle and you're just trying to survive. You're just trying to keep alive. And the shit that he saw going on around him, the prostitutions, the other drugs, the crime. Like, he would have to steal shit. Like, he was telling me how they would he would park his car out in front of a supermarket. His friend would go in and steal 20 or 30 steaks. And then they would drive them to the local restaurants and the restaurants would buy them.
Oh, wow.
And the restaurants knew that this scam was going on. That's how they got their steaks. And they knew the restaurant owners that would buy they'd give them 50% of whatever the sticker was. So they're grabbing the most expensive steaks they can, and they're steaks. Like, this is, he's stealing steaks at a supermarket.
Yeah.
I'm like, Derek, you were driving a Maserati 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You had a 9,000 square foot bedroom, like, home with like a 6-car garage. You had over $3 million in cars, and you're stealing steaks.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
It was just a little bit of weed.
It was just a little bit of weed. Because his friends were all getting high and he was hanging out with them and they started smoking weed.
Yeah.
And then one of those joints was laced with heroin, or one of those joints was laced with fentanyl. And now he's like, oh, wow, he gets that fentanyl or heroin high.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, I need more of that. I need more of that. And next thing you know, that's all you're doing. You're not doing anything else.
Yeah.
You're living for the high. And that's what I was doing. I was in 5th, 6th grade. But to a smaller extent, I wanted to get high. I wasn't heroin. I wasn't that bad. Luckily, I pulled out.
Yeah.
I went back to Dedham and I ran into some of my old friends because I kind of got my brother and I got him into my mom's house and she's now taking care of him. And we went shopping to get him some clothes and we ran into this kid we grew up with. He'd been in jail since I had left for over 5 years.
Wow. He
killed somebody in a car accident. He was drunk driving and he killed a man. He was hooked on meth and heroin. Like, I'm like, this is Derek. This is my like, we were really close friends, right? I actually got him to smoke weed, right? He came over my house.
Oh, wow.
Well, I didn't get him. He came over my house and I'm getting high.
Yeah.
Right. But that's how.
And he's like, let me try that.
Yep.
Right. And there it is. Boom. Now here he is. However many years, I guess, 30 years later, something like that. So it's just, anyway, I don't know if I answered your original question about the 1 minute of how do you tell a kid, what would I tell a teacher? First thing,
we're way past that 1 minute.
I was timing. That was only 1 minute, right? Yeah, that was 1 minute.
No, we were talking about what's the debunk, just the weed. The weed's not the gateway drug, right?
Yes,
like the thing. So anyway,
the thing that made me wonder about that is I love the X platform. Like I don't go on it very often because I just find myself scrolling because I'm interested in stuff that's happening.
It sucks you right in.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. It gets my attention. Also, I love reading. It's not like a lot of video, and I just like reading the short things. But I'm a pretty right-wing guy, but so I get fed a lot of those accounts. I'm in the echo chamber for sure. I see everything from Elon, of course. But I saw on one of these accounts that one of these like conservative account that I usually agree with like almost everything they're saying. They said something about basically they're claiming that weed being a gateway drug is false. And I don't actually usually comment, but I had to. I was like, hey, this is wrong. I was like, there are statistics that debunk this, that it is absolutely a gateway drug. And I had to have 10 comments from other people who all follow the account. I went and looked, who are all in agreement with that. So my point in saying that is this is not even a partisan thing. This this is a human race level, like all of at least all of America. I don't know how it is in other, it's probably the same in other countries or some version of it. But this is like everyone issue, like a false datum.
It is. And you have to kind of like pull the string on this. Where is this coming from? Who's promoting the legalization of weed? Like why? I'll give you an example. I was in Vermont.
I know one group.
Go ahead.
The Soros Foundation.
Yeah.
Right.
Open Society. Society Foundation.
Now start looking at it this way as well, right? I was in that. It's a huge funding source. Yeah. I was in Vermont, and Vermont was trying to pass legalization a couple of years ago. They lost. They didn't get it passed. But I'm talking to the governor's office people. I'm talking to the highway safety people. I'm talking to the state police, and they're all saying, "Where is all this money coming from? How is there hundreds of millions of dollars of marketing for legalization of marijuana being dumped into Vermont, this tiny little nowhere state?
That's right.
That has not that many people.
Yeah.
Why so much attention on Vermont? Well, one of the main reasons
it has like 3 electoral college seats.
Right. It's like this,
tiny. Yeah.
But why? And one of the reasons is people view Vermont as this holistic, organic world of clarity and cleanliness and beauty.
You're right.
And if we can get them, weed's good.
So right.
Right. Then we can get more people to adopt this. Right. So that was part of it. But then you start pulling the string on like, where is this money coming from? Yes, definitely getting the Soros Foundation. But you also have to look at the tobacco industry. Tobacco industry has been huge in America since the 40s. Huge, like maybe mid 30s. And then it spiked in 1954 to, I think it was 54 that had like over 60% adoption of adults smoking cigarettes. And then it started going down. And then it crashed like in the 90s.
Yeah.
People just like, you'll die.
Yep.
But just prior to that, there was a Senate hearing of scientists telling us how safe cigarette smoking was. Promoting, and this is in like 95, 96. So you kind of got to look at this like, we know that you can take people that know that it's not true and buy them and get them to communicate a certain viewpoint.
Of course. Yeah,
right?
Of course.
So you have to try to figure out, they're trying to make it safe, make people think it's not that bad. It's all natural. So we can get adoption. So we can get, because once you have national marijuana legalization, now you have production. Look at all the tobacco farmers and all the land they own and all the production that they could do with marijuana. And then distribution, they're getting their cigarettes into every single gas station, Walmart, corner store.
True. That's true.
Right? Overnight. Like they have those
like
routes.
Cigarettes with weed, you mean though?
Yes. They have those routes all set up, packaging. They're like, boom.
Yeah.
Turn that on.
You just change the filler.
That's all
it is.
Boom. Now you have weed everywhere. And all these little mom and pop shops of all these people that think they're going to make millions of dollars.
Poof, gone.
Yeah, overnight.
Right. Yeah, because you can buy it at Wawa.
You go to Wawa.
Wow.
Right. They're all gone. All of them are dead. Right. And then Big Tobacco now owns the industry again. And like, thanks guys for your help with us legalizing and making all the money. Peace out. Right. And that's what's going to happen. And hopefully not. I think the world is becoming somewhat aware. Like we won last year in Florida.
Yeah.
They're going to fight again the next time there's an election, and it's going to be even harder this time, right? And now you're getting a lot of both people on both sides of the aisle trying to legalize.
Yep.
Even the president's mentioned some stuff on it. So it's like, anyway, regardless of legalization, I think if we just take a step back and look at this, if you know what weed is and what weed really does to you, it doesn't matter if it's legal. Alcohol's legal.
Yeah, that's right.
Alcohol's a drug. Alcohol can kill you. I have friends that have died from alcohol.
Yep.
They didn't drink so much alcohol that they dropped dead. No, they got in a car.
Yep.
Right? I have a friend that wasn't even drunk and he got run over by a drunk driver.
Oh my God.
In front of 40 people. Like literally this drunk driver just hit him and dragged him and kept on going. I don't think he knew he hit him.
Yeah.
The guy was so drunk. I don't think he knew that he ran this kid over.
Yeah.
Right. It was late, dark, whatever. Right. So it's like, it doesn't matter, in my opinion. I'm not going to focus my attention on the politics of this.
Yeah.
I'm going to focus my attention on the proper education, because that's where we can actually make a difference.
Yeah.
If a kid is properly educated and knows what drugs really are and what they really do to them, they can make self-informed decisions.
Yeah.
They can think. They're not stupid. Stop treating
right.
12 and 13-year-olds like they're idiots.
Mhm.
They're freaking smart. They know what's going on. They're
Mhm.
just being pushed in a direction because they don't have the other data.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they don't have a game.
Yeah.
With,
Yeah, and anyone who has enough data withheld from them will appear stupid to
Right.
someone who has all the data.
Right.
You'll be like, how do you not know that? That's how do you not know?
We've
would be
all
the
talked to
question.
people on topics where we're like,
Yep.
you really think that? Like, that's your viewpoint?
Yeah.
And you're like, interesting. And you can go and yell at them and call them stupid, or you can just give them the proper data and say, hey, look, here's the science, here's the research, make up your own decision.
Mhm.
Or, hey, look, here's a video. Like Drug Free World has a great video. It's a documentary of drug addicts
Mhm.
Yep.
that have come out of rehab and tell you what the drug did to them.
Yeah.
These are real people with their stories. There's enough of those around where a kid can go, ooh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that if I smoked weed, I could potentially be hitting heroin or taking
Yeah, robbing from your mom or whatever.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
stealing steaks
Yeah.
Mistakes.
to buy your heroin.
So
A
there's
52-year-old man.
There's an invented curriculum by this gentleman's wife's mother
Oh, wow.
that I want to share with you.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is great. This is great.
It's a trivia game.
Mhm.
Okay. And what you do is you take a mugshot of a person who went into prison for meth or for something, and you show just a picture to a child or a teenager or whatever, and you say, how old is this person?
You don't let them see the age.
Wow.
And they say, oh, they look like 42, 16.
Get out of town.
Right? Like,
Yeah, or
like,
24.
like whatever it is,
Yeah.
right? So like you do the mugshot and you say like, how old is this person? And you go, oh, they went in there for meth. They went in there for this. And this is what Ashley's mom did with her,
Yeah.
and then she didn't take any drugs.
I
Yeah.
want this.
My wife
but
has
like you
never
just take
done
it. Like I
drugs.
think we can make an app or something.
Yeah.
Like
Let's do it.
mugshot finder,
Oh,
right? Like dude,
we should make an
like,
app.
seriously.
Guess the age.
Like
Yes,
check
yeah.
this out. And then
Dude,
like,
AI could build us an app in 20
you know
minutes.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, but like
Oh,
real
yeah,
mugshots,
you're
dude.
right.
Real mugshots, real
Actually.
people, because it's public record, dude. It's public record.
Could
Right.
we were building the app over the weekend.
Let's
It's
do it.
going live on Monday.
Dude, I think this could be an amazing thing
Yeah,
for this
yeah,
Red
yeah.
Red. Like,
Oh,
take
absolutely.
10 minutes, okay, everybody, and then you take.
Could you imagine
Non-drug,
what the
like, how old is
educators
this
would
person?
say? They'd be like, 23. Or you know, like 37, 20. Like,
Yeah.
Dude, I love it.
yeah.
insane.
And we just keep adding mugshots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
then
you
you
just scrape mugshots and just throw in more mugshots.
Like,
Dude,
oh,
I'm in.
dude, honestly, so
I want
like,
to get on the
it's
ground
crazy.
floor on this.
We should do it.
I
bro.
would
This
like
is
to brand this with my nonprofit.
Yeah,
you
it's
guys.
good. No, I think we
Okay,
can
great.
launch it. Let's see how much that is.
We'll
Like,
just
I
build
literally
it, and if
think
we
we
can
could do
put
this.
something good together, we'll just
Put
give
it in there,
to
put it in the
nonprofit.
app.
It'll
Yeah,
be our
throw it in there.
contribution.
There's an AI app builder called
Yeah.
Lovable.
There
And
you
you could literally just say, build this app. Here's my photos.
Yeah.
And then you have to do some coding stuff on the back end and publish it. But
Grok can write it.
But that I think that would be
Right.
so good for
Yeah,
students,
that
dude.
would.
Like in class. Okay, guys, here you go.
I think it's genius.
Boom. Okay, good. So
Okay.
This,
thank
by
you.
the way, this,
Yes,
by the
sir.
way, is how Facebook was launched.
That's true.
If you remember,
Wow.
comparing photos of people.
This is good.
Just anyway.
So we have to come up with a monetization. What?
Yeah.
Right, maybe little ads.
We'll have to. We can turn. We can.
We
do the
can- we can sell
OpenAI
ads to the
thing.
pharmaceutical
We can turn a
industry.
nonprofit into a for-profit.
That's right.
Just kidding.
We can sell
Oh, maybe
ads to the
after.
pharmaceutical industry. Ugh. I'm kidding.
Oh, jeez. Woo, okay.
That's
So-
so. That's a good one.
Okay, so we're gonna end off pretty soon, but I want to say I want to put one thing right. Like, why do you think right? So how long have you been a Scientologist?
93.
And so 30 some
32
years.
years.
Okay, it's a long time. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. Why do you think the church supports drug-free world, all this education, educators? It's like, because there's a lot of funding. In fact, I fund some of it. Brad's fund some of it.
Yeah.
You fund some of it.
I
Like,
found some of it.
we Scientologists and the church backs up this so much.
Mhm.
Like, why do you think that is?
Well, what's the purpose of the church, right? To create a better society,
Mhm.
to create a sane world.
Yep.
And what are the different areas of this world that are having a hard time? One of them is drugs.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Human rights is a couple other things going on there. So I think that they're supporting this because they want to actually create a better world in all areas of life, not just make Scientologists.
Mhm.
It's not
Mhm.
it's not about making Scientologists.
Mhm.
It's about making a sane and better world
Mhm.
that we can all live in harmony and not kill each other
That's right.
and not die from drugs, right? That's why I think the church works with many other churches,
Mm-hmm.
not to convert them all to Scientology, but to help the community and make sure we're all aligned to make a better world,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right? So that's how I found out about the Drug Free World program. They
Yeah.
came to my church and they said, hey, here's this program now. We're looking for volunteers. And I was like, oh, that could be fun. I have a lot of history with drugs. I could probably reach some people. And that's when I started going and talking to kids. And that whole story began.
Wow.
And then here I am, 20, I think Drug Free World started 18 years ago.
Mm.
So I've been literally, since the first drug educator kit got shipped out, I was like, this is what I'm going to start talking about.
Wow.
Prior to that, I was doing a thing called Drug Free Marshals, where we would go and get kids to swear to be drug free. And we give them a little drug free marshal pen. It's little like a sheriff pen. It said
That's
drug
so
free marshal.
crazy because the spokesperson for Drug Free World now is named Marshall.
Marshall Falk. Yeah.
Weird
Yeah.
irony.
Yeah. Great guy. Super cool guy. And
Yeah.
the amount of impact we've had in the NFL and now the
Yeah.
NBA, we just did a whole Drug Free World event with the
Oh,
NBA.
awesome.
So we're now expanding into that too. And the reason we do that is because we found that the most influential people on a young kid's life are the parents
Professional athletes.
and professional
That's right.
athletes.
That's right.
They look up to him. And I've talked to a lot of these professional athletes and got them to realize that.
Mm.
Like, I'll go and I'll do an event and I'm just going to be a pro athlete there and I'm going to look up their Instagram and their Facebook and be like, this guy's smoking weed on Instagram. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, you have any idea who's watching your Instagram?
Yeah.
It's not me.
Yeah.
It's
all
not
these
my
little kids.
wife.
Yeah,
It's
that's right.
it's kids.
Yeah.
They're the ones looking at you and you're getting high.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell them about the survey, and it's one guy really impacted me. Went and deleted them all from his Instagram.
Wow.
And then he posted this whole video on being drug free. And I'm like, wow, dude, like, yes,
Yeah.
that's what we need. Like that message. I don't care if he's a Scientologist,
Yeah. That's right.
right? I care that the kids watching him go, wow, I shouldn't get high.
Yeah.
Right? Not this like, oh, it's cool. This guy's getting high. What's wrong with weed? Nothing wrong with weed.
It's a
Mhm.
professional career.
Right. No, he did okay.
Yeah.
But, but still you'd be
No,
surprised.
I'm saying to the people who are
they're
doing
watching.
that.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah, you do what
Yeah.
happened with
Yeah.
me. You just crash and burn and you don't
Yeah.
care anymore. Like I barely skated through 9th grade. Like I could have aced that.
Yeah.
But I was high every day.
And
Right.
some people, like I just listened to a podcast actually yesterday about a guy, Doc something. He's a top. He won the 1986 World Series, and the guy was actively like on heavy drugs while he won.
Did he play for the Mets?
Yes.
Yeah, because he beat the Red Sox.
Yeah,
Bill Buckner on first base.
Yeah. So
The
that's
ball
guy.
went through his legs. And,
Dwight Doc something. This guy.
Sorry, the
he- he-
1986 World Series is a
listen,
very sore spot for all Red Sox fans. Don't worry about Aaron's comments on this.
He's
We'll
the
just-
pitch. He's the pitcher. Okay. No, but listen. Check this out. That guy. If you listen to the stories on a podcast, Jimmy's podcast. If you check it out, the podcast. He's the guy talking about it. But he won the World Series, and immediately afterwards, he went to go to the drug dealer because that's what he always did after the game.
Yeah.
He got high. He literally like OD'd
Wow.
and missed the whole parade.
Wow.
And he said it like he did not show up to the championship parade because he was so high and he was on the street. He's like on with a bunch of dealers in like a crack house. And he missed it. And he said, wow, at that point, his life started to change. So it may or may not mess up your professional athletic career. So that's another thing. Like I don't talk about like, hey, you took weed, if you smoke weed, you won't win. You might win, dude. This guy won the World Series
Right.
while he was high the day before, the day of, right? But he was like, that was the worst time ever because he
Right.
was supposed to be with his family. They're not missing. The guy, the pitcher,
Yeah.
missing from the
Yeah.
game. And he said like that's like that was the wake up call. Like, oh my gosh, I missed the most important moment of my life. Like, and then he started turning and he's been sober
Wow.
now for 6 years and this and your life is ruined whether or not you win at the sport. So
Right.
it could and likely will mess up your athletic career or your professional career, but it might not.
Right.
But it will mess up your life regardless.
I don't-
Long term, it's going to
interesting-
mess up your
Right.
professional
You don't hear a lot
career
of
as well.
stories of people that were like, man, yeah, I was a lonely sales rep, started doing heroin. Next thing you know, I'm running the damn company. Right. And I'm a millionaire on my Ferrari. You don't hear a lot of that.
Yeah,
No, you
probably
never
you'll
hear that.
you'll- no, probably, no,
Yeah.
but
I have
with this
never
guy, what
heard
you hear
that.
is like,
Yeah.
he gets to the top, now he's rich, he gets high, and it's not enough to stop him from winning.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not like he didn't get there while he wasn't high on his come up.
Right.
He started getting high
That's right.
when he was already at the
Exactly.
It's Mike Tyson, same thing.
And you probably go back and look, and someone was smoking weed in the room,
Yeah,
or someone was doing
For
a
sure.
line.
top. Mhm,
for sure.
mhm.
You know.
So
Yeah.
awesome. dude.
Okay,
Well-
great. You got a last question for him?
No.
Yeah, you do.
Oh yeah,
You want me to ask it?
yeah. You ask him.
Okay, great. It's what?
I know. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Just making sure.
You don't- yeah.
Because you usually ask it. Okay. What is Scientology in your own words?
Fundamental answers. Literally, basic fundamental truths about life and living this.
Beautiful.
Simple things you can learn and use in your life right now to help you be you.
Amazing. Darren, thank you for being here today. And with that, we're a wrap.
Thanks, guys.
Don't do nothing.